Part 1 expanded to approximately 700 words. Cole Braddock had learned to live with ghosts. Not the kind that rattled chains or whispered through walls, but the kind that lingered in memories sharp enough to cut a man open. The Montana wind still carried the echo of her laugh, Lila's laugh, soft as rain on thirsty soil. 5 years had passed since the river took her, 5 years since the sheriff delivered the words that hollowed him out from the inside. No body, only her scarf tangled in driftwood miles downstream. 5 years since he buried an empty coffin just so grief had a place to sit. Life went on because the land insisted it must. The cattle didn't care about heartbreak. The fences didn't stop falling just because he'd lost the woman he planned to grow old beside. So Cole got up every day, put on his boots, and worked until his bones ached and his mind was too tired to remember what he'd lost. He built himself a routine so steady it was almost silence. Wake before dawn, feed the horses, ride the pasture, check the fences, fix whatever needed fixing, pretend he didn't hear Lila humming in the back of his mind whenever the wind blew just right. But some days, when the world was too quiet and the sky painted itself in bruises, he felt her absence like a bruise pressed too hard. On a late autumn afternoon, the kind where the air smelled of cold earth and distant snow, he was in the barn repairing a busted stall door. The wood was old, cracked from years of use, and he muttered to himself as he wedged a new board into place. That was when he heard it, the crunch of tires on gravel. Cole straightened slowly. Visitors were rare this far out, wrong turns were even rarer. His nearest neighbor lived 3 miles away. Deliveries never came down his road without calling first. Whoever it was, they hadn't come by accident. He brushed sawdust from his jeans and stepped outside. A dusty silver sedan idled in front of the house, engine clicking as it cooled. The driver's door didn't open. Instead, the back doors pushed out simultaneously. 2 little girls climbed out. Twins, identical except for the backpack shapes slung over their shoulders, one a fox, the other a faded blue rabbit. They were maybe 6 years old, possibly 7, small enough to look out of place against the wide Montana sky. Their hair was the same shade as Lila's, deep chestnut curls that refused to be tamed. Their eyes, wide and searching, were unmistakably green. Cole felt something in his ribcage twist painfully. The girls stood close together, the way children do when they're scared but trying hard not to show it. Dust clung to their shoes. Their clothes were clean but wrinkled, like they'd been sitting for hours. The twin with the fox backpack held her strap in both fists. The girl with the rabbit backpack clutched the stuffed animal so tightly its remaining ear bent sideways. Cole cleared his throat. "Can I help you?" His voice came out rougher than he intended, like it had been dragged over gravel. The girls exchanged a look, a whole silent conversation passing between them in a heartbeat. Finally, the one with the fox backpack stepped forward. Her chin wobbled once before she steadied it. "Are you Cole Braddock?" she asked, voice small but clear. Cole's muscles tightened. "Yeah," he said carefully. "That's me." The second girl took a shaky breath. Her lower lip trembled, and she pressed her face half into her stuffed rabbit before speaking. "Mommy told us, if anything ever happened, we had to find you." Cole's breath stilled in his chest. His heartbeat stuttered, then crashed like a stampede. "Your mom," he repeated, barely able to force the word out. Both girls nodded in unison. "She said," the fox girl swallowed hard. "She said to come here. To you." Silence wrapped around the ranch like a thick blanket. Cole felt the world tilt, slow and heavy. "Why?" he whispered. The rabbit girl stepped forward this time, her voice trembling. "Because you're our daddy." The words didn't just hit him, they ripped through him, tearing open wounds he thought had long scarred over. His vision blurred, his knees threatened to give. He looked at them, truly looked now, and saw Lila in every line of their faces. Part 2 expanded to approximately 700 words. Cole Braddock had survived stampedes, blizzards, droughts that starved the land, and nights so cold he thought the wind might kill him. But nothing, had ever shaken him like standing in front of 2 little girls who claimed to be his daughters. He brought them inside the ranch house because he couldn't stand seeing them shiver on the porch. The moment he opened the door, both of them hesitated, as if stepping over the threshold meant changing their lives forever. Cole understood that feeling more than he cared to admit. "Come on," he said gently, trying not to sound as overwhelmed as he felt. "It's warm inside." They exchanged another one of those silent twin glances before slipping into the house. Their small footsteps echoed on the wooden floor, too light, too fragile. Cole followed them in, shutting the door behind him with a click that sounded far too final. The girls stared around the living room, the old stone fireplace, the worn leather sofa, the framed photographs of horses and sunsets. Their gazes caught on only one picture, the photo of Lila taken the summer before she vanished. She was standing by the corral, sunlight tangled in her curls, smiling at Cole like he was the best decision she'd ever made. The twins approached the picture slowly, drawn to it like it called to something in their bones. "That's Mommy," the girl with the rabbit backpack whispered. Cole's heart lurched so hard he had to grip the back of the couch. "Yeah," he rasped. "That's Lila." The fox backpack twin reached out and brushed her fingertips over the frame. "She always kept this picture in her wallet." Cole swallowed. She did." The girls nodded. For a moment, all he could do was watch them, two tiny pieces of the woman he'd loved, standing in his living room as if they'd always belonged there. He cleared his throat. "Why don't we sit down? You can tell me everything." They sat on the sofa, legs dangling several inches from the floor. Cole sat across from them in his old armchair, suddenly aware of how large he seemed, how impossibly unprepared he was. He had no idea how to talk to children, especially these children. His children. He still wasn't sure he believed it. But one look at their eyes, their curls, the curve of their small chins, and he felt the truth pressing down on him like the weight of the Montana sky. "What are your names?" he asked softly. "I'm Arya," said the fox backpack girl. "And I'm Willow," added the rabbit backpack one. Arya and Willow. Beautiful names, exactly the kind Lila would have chosen. "How old are you?" Arya lifted 6 fingers. Willow mirrored her. 6, they said together. 6. 6 years. 6 years ago, Lila had vanished. 6 years ago, she'd been pregnant, without telling him. Or had she known and been planning to? Questions churned through his mind like a storm he couldn't outrun. "Girls," Cole said carefully, "I need you to tell me where your mom is." Willow looked down at her rabbit. "We don't know." Arya's voice wavered. She told us to hide if anything happened. She said bad men were coming." Cole leaned forward, pulse hammering. "What men?" Arya's eyes filled with fear. "They were looking for us. They had guns." A chill crawled down Cole's spine. His ranch wasn't unfamiliar with trouble, land disputes, rustlers, the occasional drifter causing issues. But this wasn't that. Whatever Lila had gotten tangled in, it was bigger. Darker. "Did your mom say what they wanted?" he asked quietly. Willow shook her head. "She just said we had to run. She packed us clothes and snacks and money. And she told us your name. She said, if I'm not with you, go to Cole. He'll keep you safe." Cole felt something inside him crack open, something that had been locked away for years. Lila had trusted him, even after everything, even in danger, she'd sent their children to him. "Girls," Cole took a steadying breath. "Why did you think she wasn't coming with you?" Arya's chin trembled, tears welled, "Because she said goodbye." Willow leaned against her sister. "She hugged us really tight. And she said she loved us more than the world." Cole's stomach dropped. The room tilted. The air thinned. "Arya," he said gently, "when was this?" 3 days ago. 3 days. 3 days Lila had been missing. Maybe hurt, maybe captured, maybe. Part 3 expanded to approximately 700 words. Cole Braddock barely slept that night. He sat at the kitchen table long after the twins had fallen asleep in the guest room, a cold cup of coffee untouched beside him, staring at the wood grain as if answers might rise out of it. Arya and Willow, his daughters, slept safe under his roof. But Lila was out there somewhere. Or worse, she wasn't. Every time his thoughts strayed toward the darker possibilities, he forced them back. Lila had survived storms tougher than most men. If she was still breathing 3 days ago, hugging her girls, sending them to him, then she was still breathing now. She had to be. But dawn brought no clarity. Only urgency. The ranch looked different now. The morning sun rose over the pasture like it always did, but instead of peaceful golden light, it felt like a spotlight illuminating every possible danger. Cole walked the perimeter twice, checking for tracks, unfamiliar tire marks, anything that didn't belong. He found nothing, but that only made him more uneasy. Inside the house, the girls were eating the pancakes he'd burned twice before finally getting right. Willow kicked her feet under the table while Arya drizzled an unnecessary amount of syrup over hers. "You girls sleep okay?" Cole asked. "We like the blankets," Willow said, her mouth full. "They smell like horses." "Willow," Arya scolded softly. "You're not supposed to say that." Cole chuckled. It's all right, horses are good company. It was a strangely normal breakfast, so normal it hurt. Like having the life he should have had dangling right in front of him. Twins, daughters, a family, a world he never knew he'd lost. When they finished eating, Cole crouched down so he was eye level with both of them. Girls, I need you to think real hard. When your mom said bad men were coming, did she say why? Arya hesitated, twisting her fingers together. She said they wanted something she had. What kind of something? A paper, Willow said. A paper with numbers and names. She scrunched her nose as if remembering. Mommy said they wanted to find a place. Cole stiffened. What place? We don't know, Arya whispered. But Mommy said it was dangerous. She said they were willing to hurt people to get it. Willow nodded. She burned another paper so they couldn't take it. Cole exhaled slowly. This wasn't about stolen money or a personal threat. Lila had stumbled onto something bigger. Something criminal. Something deadly. And now they wanted the girls. Or what Lila had left behind. He had to protect them. But he also had to find Lila. By noon, Cole had made up his mind. He saddled his horse, checked his rifle, and packed essentials for the girls. Arya and Willow watched him. From the porch, their small faces solemn. Are we leaving? Arya asked. Not leaving, Cole corrected gently. Just going somewhere safer for a while. Safer than here? Willow asked, clutching her rabbit. Cole looked out over the land, his land. The hills, the tall grass, the distant tree line. Once, it had been the place he felt strongest, the place no darkness could touch. Now it felt like a battlefield. Yeah, Cole said, safer than here. As he lifted the twins into the truck, he caught sight of movement at the far edge of the property, a glint of something metallic. Binoculars, a scope, a vehicle partially hidden among the trees. His heart snarled inside his chest. They'd found them. Girls, Cole said calmly, masking the surge of adrenaline, I need you to buckle in. Right now. Arya obeyed instantly. Willow fumbled with her seatbelt until he helped her snap it into place. He climbed into the driver's seat and started the engine just as a black SUV began creeping out from behind the tree line. Cole's grip tightened on the wheel. He backed out fast, gravel spitting beneath the tires. The SUV followed. Willow whimpered. Arya grabbed her hand. It's okay, Cole said, forcing calm into his voice. I've got you. No one's touching either of you. They sped down the dirt road, dust clouds billowing behind them. The SUV gained speed. Whoever these men were, they didn't care about subtlety anymore. They wanted the twins. They wanted whatever Lila died protecting, or was still fighting to protect. And Cole, he'd been quiet for too many years. Now the fire inside him roared awake. He took a hard right, heading toward the old ridge trail, uneven, narrow, and damn near impassable for anything but a ranch truck. The SUV hesitated. Then followed. Daddy, Willow whispered. The word hit him like a fist to the chest, unexpected, raw, terrifying, beautiful. Yeah, sweetheart, he said, voice rough. Are we gonna be okay?